Welcome to Too Old, Too New, the music discovery podcast that brings you something old, something new, something Nate, something Bruce. I'm Nate Runkle, host of the Yo, That's My Jawn podcast, and with me, as always, is my good friend Bruce Warren from WXPN. The premise of this show is simple. Each week, we bring you two songs apiece. One new song that has been metaphorically spinning our turntable platters, and one old song that we believe absolutely still matters. Bruce, what is going on? I know. It's like old hand, you know?
Very good. Yeah, but hold on. So I'm at the radio station, and we had this new air conditioning stuff installed, and it's like about 40 degrees in the building. It's freezing, so I actually have my heater on in my office, but hold on, give me a sec. I want to turn my heater up.
Okay.
So I'm a little more comfortable now. There you go.
I like it.
You doing all right? You good?
I'm doing pretty good, man.
Excellent.
I survived this hot weekend. I played a tournament. I played disc golf. Everybody can make fun of now.
Wow.
But I played a tournament on Saturday outside all day, and it was the hottest day of my life.
Oh my God. You must have lost whatever. You were probably drenched, right?
I had to take all Sunday and just lay down because it took it out of me. But
they don't mess around with that excessive heat warning.
They really don't. I've never drank so much water in my life, and oddly did not pee at all. It was just all sweated out of me. So.
Well, I'm glad you drank a lot, though. Of water.
It's exactly
water. So what do you got on tap this week? What do you got?
So for my new pick this week, I picked a song from the artist King Hannah. All right, King Hannah is a Liverpool duo. It's Hannah Merrick and Craig Whittle, and the album is Big Swimmer. It just came out maybe a month or so ago, and it's a fantastic album. And the first time I was listening to it, I'm going through the track list, and I get to a song, and it's entitled "Milk Boy, I Love You," which is going to be my selection today. And I was like, oh, wouldn't that be funny if it's about Philadelphia? And so the song absolutely starts out, and the opening line is, "We were parked under a bridge in Philadelphia." So I'm like, oh my goodness, this is like a love letter to us. I can't believe it. This is fantastic. And all of the songs were kind of written around the last tour that King Hannah did. So I was very excited. But then, let me play the song. Let me play the clip, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. This is Milk Boy, I Love You by King Hannah. So the line there was, he swung a hammer at that little boy's face. And the song is about, they were driving through Philadelphia, and there was this 8 or 9-year-old boy sitting on a stoop, and they assume the boy's father came out of a van at one point and pulled a hammer out and tried to hit and swung it at this little boy's face. And I was like, oh, this is not the Philadelphia love song I was expecting.
That's horrible.
It's horrifying.
That's not.
It's just absolutely. But
you got me there. Nate. I'm sorry.
So
it's not funny.
I know, but I was just absolutely. My jaw was on the ground, and she said that no contact was made, and it looked like he was just trying to scare the child or something like that, which is still absolutely traumatically horrific. But the song kind of rocks. As you can hear, it starts kind of droning, and then the chorus kicks in. It's got kind of like a Laurie Anderson, Joni Mitchell kind of poetry into the chorus kind of thing, and the song structure just really excites me. But what a scary ass tale.
That's crazy. And I'm gonna check it out. I've been seeing a lot ads or whatever. They're playing in Philly.
Yes.
In fact, it's funny because now that I know about the song, now I'm questioning why they actually aren't playing Milk Boy. As much as I love Johnny Brenda's, they are playing Johnny Brenda's on July the 1st. But now it's piqued my curiosity. So good selection there. And I never heard them until just now.
Oh,
so
yeah. The album is fantastic. Sharon Van Etten's on a track or two. It's just absolutely incredible.
That's right. That's where I recognize the connection from. Yeah.
That's my new song. What's your new song this week?
Well, breaking news. I am so fucking excited. The punk rock legendary Los Angeles band X are back together for their final album, their final tour. It's the final everything. although they will live on, thankfully.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, there was a band. Once upon a time, there was a band from Los Angeles called X, and they released their debut album in 1980, in the spring of 1980, and it was like this crazy mix of punk rock and rockabilly. But man, it was intense. It was super, super intense. It was produced by Ray Manzarek from The Doors, which made the story even more interesting. But essentially, it was Exene Cervenka and John Doe, who were the singers, along with Billy Zoom and DJ Bonebreak on drums. Okay, so they're back together again, and they just announced all this stuff this morning. And the new album is called Smoke and Fiction, and it's coming out in August, and it fucking rocks. So here you go. Let's check it out. Big Black X, that's the name of the song.
Hell yeah.
You know, Exene and John Doe's harmonies still sound absolutely amazing, like they sounded like when you first heard them back in 1980. It's just incredible. Two of the most unique and distinguished harmonies, like vocals, from any band ever. Like, you know, you think of magical harmonies. Exene and John were just all the way on. I saw them a bunch back in the day, and I am psyched because they're still, and they still bring it. They still bring it live, and I'm very psyched. They're actually playing. They're going to be touring a lot all through the summer into the fall, and I think they're playing Philly November maybe. Anyway, great new song from X. And I just want to point out two things. If you're new to the band X, I'm going to suggest that you listen to their debut album. And there's two documentaries that I think are really important documentaries. One is, there was a documentary about X that came out in 1986 called The Unheard Music. Highly recommended. Equally as recommended is The Decline of Western Civilization, a documentary about the punk rock scene that came out in early, I guess it was 81, I think it came out. Two super important pieces of work to contextualize not only just the broader punk rock scene, but also X. So very, very excited. Can you tell I'm a fan?
Hell
Can you
yeah.
tell I'm a fan, Nate?
Dude, it's great. Like you said that there was a new song coming. I didn't even know this was on the horizon. So this was like such a gift this morning because, like you said, they did not lose a step, and they still absolutely rock. Like I don't know if you saw. Did you watch any of the John Mulaney Netflix special where they had Fred Armisen? Fred Armisen did a thing with all of these old punk people and Exenes in there. And it's fantastic.
No, I did not. I heard it was pretty good.
It was pretty good. It's out there. It's a little spacey. It's an acquired taste. Katie, my wife, we're both big Mulaney fans, but she could not get into it whatsoever. But it's definitely something to check out.
Well, I know Exene had some health issues over the years, but look, it's just I can listen to those two sing pretty much anything. You know, I always love their voices together.
Yeah.
So that's my what's new.
Speaking of new, we're halfway through the year. It's June. This is the last week of June. So 6 months in, at the halfway mark, I got to ask: are there any albums that are a possibility for making your top of the list for 2024? Maybe like 4 or 5 that come to mind.
Yeah, for sure. Well, my prediction is that Waxahachie across the board, Tiger's Blood is going to be the album of the year at many, many media outlets. At the Bruce Warren media outlet, it is one of my favorite albums of the year. So yeah, Katie, Waxahachie, Casey Musgraves. I love Casey's new album. I love the Maggie Rogers record, and I also love the Yard Act album.
Oh, it's fantastic.
So those are four that just like, those are records that I have consistently been listening to since they came out. And that to me is always the sign for me personally, like, you know, the longer a record can sustain itself, because as you know, we go through a hell of a lot of music, right?
Yeah.
But you don't come back to something, then you might as well just like forget it. How about you?
For me, there's a bunch that I've been coming back to. Carsey Blanton's "After the Revolution" got so many spins, and still occasionally when I need something, I'll just go back to that and check that out. Craig Wedren from Shudder to Think put an album out called "The Dream Dreaming." That was is absolutely phenomenal. It's one of those ones where like it's a perfect car album. But here's the thing. Oh, and of course, I got to mention Miracle Focus by our pal Tim from Strand of Oaks, which, of course, just came out, and that's been phenomenal. But here's the two surprise albums that I never would have guessed are probably neck and neck for 1 and 2, and that is But Who's Gonna Play the Melody by Christian McBride and Edgar Meyer, all right, which is just two bass players killing it. It's just a phenomenal jazz album. And the other one, also an instrumental, Asterisms by Sean Ono Lennon. It's got Yuka Hondo on it. It's absolutely phenomenal. And it's got this like 70s kind of like, it kind of feels like the soundtrack to a 70s film. Almost right. In that kind of like, remember when they started like introducing like rock into kind of the scores of films? Yeah. That's kind of what it's got a feel for. And it's like maybe 5 or 6 songs long, but all instrumental, and it's absolutely phenomenal. And that one was a complete surprise to me coming through.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of new records that came out over the last couple of months. I just haven't had a lot of time to listen to albums, But, I would probably say, and again, people always ask me, it's like, what's your favorite new album? And if I have to wait too long, like there is none.
Yeah.
But like, I'll just say like the Lemon Twigs is a record that just is like that shit's like in my DNA. And I really like this. I've been listening to it recently. I don't know where they're from, but the band are called Good Morning.
I think I just heard that this week.
They're kind of like an indie rock band. They're a rock band. They're like, fuck it, a rock band. And I haven't heard the whole Fontaines DC, but based on the 2 songs that are out now, that's going to be. I think that one's going to be sitting up there. Sadly, I'd love to hear from folks. If you have suggestions, I am a big hip hop fan, and I haven't nothing's knocked me over the head this year.
No,
yet.
But what's on the horizon that I know is going to probably be in my top 10, just based off of the 2 singles I've heard off of it, is Common and Pete Rock have an album coming out, and they're just putting those 2 names together. I want to put it on the top of the charts.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, then see, therein lies a challenge, Nate. Right? You just brought something up really interesting. So I'm thinking about the Andre 3000 record, right? Amazing record, mind-blowing record. For many reasons, people put albums on their top 10 lists. From an artistic perspective, it's an absolutely gorgeous, beautiful, innovative, risk-taking record, right? The question, though, is, after, 2, 3, 4 times, 4, 5, 6 months later, are you going to go pull out the Andre 3000 record? Maybe you will, but I don't know. I just, I would put it on the list because of all the reasons I just mentioned, but is it a record that I listen to over and over and over again? And that, for me, is one of the biggest criteria for putting a record on a best of album, whether people agree with it or not. It's like best of to me, okay? So there you go.
Well, that's one of the things that's really surprised me. I mentioned it last week that I've been tracking all the albums I've listened to this year, new albums, and finding ratings that I've been changing based off of that fact. Like there are albums that like have stuck with me that when I first heard it, I maybe gave it. I only rate out of 5. I maybe gave it like a 3.5, 4.
Yeah.
But I've listened to so much that I'm like, well, clearly, something in this has spoken to me because I keep coming back to it.
Yeah. Like I was seriously infatuated with the Adrian Lenker's record.
Yeah.
Sorry. Right. And like I suspect that'll wind up on my best of list for the year. It's a beautiful, intimate, incredible record, right? Have I put it on recently? No, but I could probably sing 7 or 8 songs from the record.
Yeah. I also
An important record, you
Also,
know.
on that tip, the version of Vampire Empire that's on her solo, as opposed to the Big Thief version, is so much better. But so if nobody's heard it, go check that out.
All right, there you go. Well, it's only half. We're only halfway there.
That's right.
So
There's still
you
so
never
much
know.
more good stuff to come out. As a matter of fact, I was reading off the release dates of September 13th, I think, and there's so much stuff coming out on that day. I can't tell you what it is right now because I don't remember, but
Okay, so before we get into something else,
yeah.
but I do want to say one thing. I just talked a little bit about hip hop. The new Rakim single,
Yes.
is fucking.
Oh my God, yes. The LL Cool J one too. And look, I know that I sound like an old guy as I'm naming Common, LL Cool J, and Rakim, right? But like that fucking did not lose. You want to talk about did not lose a step? These guys are firing on all
Yeah.
cylinders.
Yeah, yeah. All right, something old. So listen, I just raved about Los Angeles by X, so we're gonna do Los Angeles by X. It's the debut album from the band X, and it's called Los Angeles. Came out in 1980. Let's do this. The title song. That's like a perfect example of what I was talking about earlier, of the way that John Doe and Exene Cervenka sing together, and they share the harmonies and they break out. And I'm telling you, Billy Zoom, and they just drive. They just drive. So there you go. That's my something old Los Angeles title song to X.
It's incredible, and like anybody who listens to this show long enough is going to learn this very fast. But you put a male and a female vocalist together, and I'm pretty much sold because that's just I feel like male and female voices, especially a male harmonizing underneath a female lead. I think it just sonically is everything I want in a song.
Okay, Nate, you just gave me an idea.
Yep.
Next week for our something olds, we each pick a male, female, old song.
I'm in.
You in?
Yeah, and I promise it won't
Okay.
be Graham and Emmylou, which is normally my go-to. But I will expand, and I will bring something good.
I'll remind you. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll remind you.
Cool.
All right.
I dig
okay.
it. For my something old, I'm going back not too far, but of course far. It's I think early 2000s. I can't remember the exact date this came out. But this is a song by Handsome Boy Modeling School. For those who don't know, Handsome Boy Modeling School was a project by Dan the Automator and Prince Paul, where they would put a song together and then they would bring in guest musicians. Jack Johnson did a song with them on this album. Cat Power did a song. This is from their album White People, and the song I'm picking is the closer, Greatest Mistake, and it's a song featuring Jamie Cullum and one John Oates. All right. I am just going to put this out there as I've put it out in every single show that I've tried to be on. I am an enormous John Oates fan. All right. Not just Hall & Oates, but John Oates himself, because we come from the same hometown. We both were born in I wasn't born in North Wales, but I was raised in North Wales. Everybody I know has John Oates went to my, my Boy Scout. His first, I live right around the corner from the Boy Scout center where he performed his first show. All right. So forever I have been trying to get John Oates on the Yo That's My John podcast to have a conversation about that. But specifically, I want to talk about, I feel like he's one of the most underrated people in music because he's so overshadowed by the 80s output of Hall & Oates and how he just kind of seemingly became a backup person. But if you listen to the early stuff, if you listen to Abandoned Luncheonette and Hall & Oates and all that, you can hear John-led songs, all right? Like Had I Known You Better is a beautiful John song. And I've figured it out. I know how to play it because I'm always playing in North Wales at Tex-Mex, and I know he goes there every once in a while. And I have it on deck just in case he walks in so that I can say, I'll sing Daryl's part if you want to do a little Had I Known You Better. But anyway, I'm blabbering. Here is Greatest Mistake by Handsome Boy Modeling School featuring Jamie Cullum and John Oates. Yeah, it swings. It's so swanky. You can hear how brilliant John is with harmonies and even taking the lead there. Right around this time, I have to tell this story as well. Every single time John Oates comes up, right around this time is the only time I ever met John Oates, and I used to work at Sam Goody. All right. And I'm working there one day, and John comes in with, I believe, his grandson. And he asked about the latest Hall & Oates DVD, Live at the Troubadour, asked to see if we had any in stock. We talked about it a bit. And he's done, and he gets ready to leave. And as he's at the door, he stops, he turns around, and he looks at me, and he goes, oh, one more thing. He's like, I completely forgot why I came in here. He goes, do you have the new Outcast CD? And I went, I said, what? And he said, do you have the new Outcast CD? And I was like, Andre and Big Boy Outcast? And he said, yeah. And it was Speaker Box of Love Below. And I went, yes, we do. And he's like, I'll take that. And so I sold John Oates a copy of Speaker Box Love Below. And it's one of my favorite stories ever.
That's great. Can I tell you a Hall & Oates story?
Absolutely.
Okay, so back in the day, friends of mine and I went to see Hall & Oates at the Tower Theater here in Philadelphia. Okay, we had really shitty seats. We had like balcony seats. So one of my friends decides he's going to fake a cast, and we got a wheelchair, and we rolled in, the four of us rolled into the Tower Theater, and we said to the usher, it's like, hey, our friend broke his leg the other day. Our tickets are already up on the balcony. Is there anywhere we can sit? And they were like, right this way, and literally walked us up to literally like in front of the soundboard, which, have you ever been to the Tower Theater?
Yeah,
for
sure.
a show? Okay, so, it was sort of like 2/3 of the way back on the floor, Seats were great. The section where anyway, they're jamming. Hall & Oates are jamming. And my friend with the broken leg stood up and started dancing. And the usher came over to us and said, I knew you motherfuckers were pulling my leg, but he let us stay there.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so killer.
Isn't that great?
That is great. Oh, my God.
It's a funny story. I'll never forget it. Every time I hear Hall & Oates, I literally think of that night.
It's so great. See, everybody's got a good Hall & Oates story. I just wish, I wish dads would get back together.
Yeah.
But hey, no, I get it. Like I understand. Like it's a business. Like music is a business, and sometimes the business gets in the way of the music, and that's fine.
That's
like,
right.
It happens.
That's right.
It happens. Well,
all good.
That's it, man. I mean, like what a show. What a group of songs. I will point everybody again. We have the playlist that goes up on Spotify. All these songs will be updated. You can also vote for the songs on Spotify. There's a poll there. What your favorite one of the week was. I only mentioned that because finally for the first week last week I won, and it was Bloodshed Baby was the winner last week. But no, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, you can find us on the socials. You can find me at Yo That's My Jawn. You can find Bruce at Some Velvet Blog on all of them. You can also hear Bruce every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on WXPN, and you can hear me from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. every Monday on Why Not Radio, plus on the Yo That's My Jawn podcast. Guys, this Monday, Paige Stark comes on the show. Can't wait to share that one. What an amazing conversation we had, not just about music, but also about film. And she answers Bruce's question on how the hell did she get Mark Maron to sing a song with her.
All right. Well, that's a good forward promotion, Nate. Good job, buddy.
It's a little
good
teaser.
job.
A little teaser.
All right.
We will catch you next week.